Greeting my fellow modelers. I hope you're all doing very well. This weekend, let's look at an incredible aircraft, the F7U Cutlass from Fiddlers Green. Please go to fiddlersgreen.net. You will find incredible array of aircraft for less than $8 a month, a model a day. And here we have the F7U Cutlass, the tail sections, the main wing, the canopy, and this cross section is what it's supposed to look like. The intakes, the forward fuselage, the rear fuselage, and the jet exhaust, landing gears included. It's going to be a pretty neat aircraft to build. And here we have a basic diagram of what it's supposed to look like with the intakes and the exhaust. So, tools needed. You know me already. We need an X-Acto knife, steel rule blades, tweezers. Can never have enough. Super glue for those quick assembly and super strong joints. Tacky glue. That glue dries very quick. And you could use your Elmer's glue. Make sure you have a set of toothpick. Trusty scissors. And cake decorating tool. Nice. So let's cut the parts out. This here is where I go really into cutting the parts separately so I can focus on what I'm building, and it really helps just making assembly quick. This is my technique. You can do your own. Either you cut from the paper or cut the parts just like this. And put them aside and we're good to go. Let's start with the center fuselage assembly. So we separated it from the rear fuselage, cutting it out. I am always fascinated by this particular aircraft because it's one of those where I went, hold on, where's the fuselage and where's the stabilizer? It really was right up there, I think, with the Douglas Skyray, which is just mainly a wing form with just fuselage and a tail added on. And here you see it's just a simple assemble. I use my cake tool to really flatten the inside. Now for the rear, please pay attention to how I've done it. After we have cut it out, use my scissors here to get rid of the major part. And then I use my X-Acto knife to cut out the more intricate part. We roll it to have a proper shape. Now watch what happens after I roll. I join this area. And once that's joined, I use my brush handle to curve the tail section. To this, I then join. And then we just add it to our center fuselage. Pay attention to the alignment and make sure the bends or the part you join is aligned. This part is just simply cutting the jet exhaust out, rolling it with the paintbrush handle, gluing and installing. I believe that during this era of model designs, they really explored the envelopes of how planes look, and they carried that exotic look. I love the look of this. It's almost science fiction like. If you look carefully, you see I use the glue first place the exhaust in. Now pay attention, you see where the joint is? I put it to the underside of the aircraft. So this way, it hides the joints and make for better presentation. And just a bit of dabbing of crazy glue to keep it there. I just want to thank each and every one of you who every week look out for my model presentations and what I'm building new on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for each and every one of your support. And if you're new to this, I hope you would consider subscribing and hey, even joining on the Build Fun by sponsoring me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys. Back to modeling. So the forward fuselage assembly. Let us have some fun with this. We're going to cut each out, starting with the nose cone. You see me slicing parts of it? This will aid in forming the curve at the tip of the nose. So we cut it out, and that white area you see, I'm using my blade to cut it off. Now you see I use the tip of my brush handle to press down on where those slots were made. It helps with making a curved cone. And there you have it, the nose form. And it's simple enough and straightforward enough. And here is just a series of rolling the forward fuselage, using my quick dry glue, and make sure everything is aligned. And there we have it. Now the glue tabs, you see I use a quick drying glue and attach each section. And this is how we'll build a fuselage. This works great for me. And this is how we continue to build the fuselage. Make sure that the gluing of the canopy area is aligned, and then you use a flat tweezer to make sure everything is done properly. Check the joints and make sure the joints are aligned, and we keep rolling with our brush handle to form the fuselage properly. Hold tight and keep gluing. You see how quick and easy this come together? Yes, it will take time, but guess what? You got this. Now, right after we do this, here is where the magic happens. We're putting glue only on the central top and bottom. And watch carefully as I join the front. You see how it aligns itself? Now it's starting to look a little bit like a Cutlass. So the air intake now, we're going to just start with the left hand side, that's the LH there. So we just cut it out. We're going to roll it, and then look at what I do to the edge. You see I use the tip of my brush handle and I put it in my finger and I keep rolling the very tip. That's what gives it that compound curve, and it really adds a lot to the model. And as you see, I use my quick drying glue and a needle nose tweezer. Trust me guys, you want to invest in as much tweezer as you can. It really helps with the building of the model. And right after everything is formed, I use a flat nose to flatten each section, and then I go at it. And guess what? You have a proper looking fuselage. Look at that. So awesome. So the canopy is really two main pieces. So you see I'm cutting out the front part, which would be the canopy area. You see I'm rolling it on the brush handle, and then I round the inside starting with the edge of the toothbrush handle and then the decorative tool, and then I do the joints. Repeat almost the same for the rear canopy section. Now watch what I'm doing here. So right after we glue those tabs carefully, the tab that will join it to the forward part, as you can see here, I take a scissors to it. It helps with making the joints a bit more able to form. And then I join both halves. Clean it up with a scissors, the edges. Remember, it's a fun scale model. It's not 100% accurate, and this helps. Apply the glue, put it in properly, make sure it's aligned and not tilting anyway, and awesome. Our cutlass is beginning to take shape. So pay attention to this wing assembly now, as you will see what I'm doing here. We cut our wing out, which is the left hand side. We cut the curve using the scissors, and then we're going to use our steel ruler to fold it properly in half. We are going to glue the edges, and remember, it's the very edge, okay? Rest it on your cutting mat and make sure that it's level. Now look what I did with the toothpick. You see I put the toothpick through the center of the fuselage. This really helps a lot, okay? With the rigidity and the stability and the leveling of the wing. You see I use a little crazy glue or super glue to keep that in place. That's awesome. Repeat the same with a right hand wing panel. Alright, glue the edges, flatten it on the table. You see I'm doing that? Then apply glue to the very edge, slide those into the slot. Make sure it's level, check the panel lines, and then you apply a bit of glue, super glue, and you're good to go. Perfectly level wings. And now, my fellow modelers, on to the fin integration. Now, pay attention carefully to what I've done. The part what is navy faces the outside. The part that doesn't have the navy on the tail fin stays on the inside. Now, when we cut our parts out, we're going to split our toothpick to make it small enough yet strong enough. What we're going to do is roll where the toothpick will be to strengthen it. Apply just to the edges. You see, it's not to the front. I'm doing it to the rear tail section and the underside. And there's a reason. So please follow carefully. You see what I'm doing there? Then what I'm going to do after is to put a hole in the wing. Put the toothpick I split in there, cut it to the length of what the fin is, and slide the fin over where the joint is. So now we have a rigid fin that is stabilized and will be level. We close it, we apply it to the underside, close that up, and bam, we have our fin. It'll take a while, but it's well worth the strength. So for the landing gear installation, we're going to do some basic things. We cut our main landing gear and nose wheel landing gear out. We're going to then cut small holes in the center where we're going to fold it. We're going to trim our toothpick down. We're going to slide that in, glue. So as you see here, we cut them out. I put a hole. I put the trim down toothpick in where I'll fold it. Apply glue. Fold it. Cut the excess off. Make a hole where the leading landing gear would be. Install. And we can fix in place using super glue. We repeat the process on the wing. There we go. This is going to look really, really good once we're finished. reinstall this. Now, bear in mind, when I've done this, I find that the main landing gear could have been a shade taller. It's either that or the nose landing gear could be a shade shorter, so that way the engine exhaust won't hit the ground. And here's my favorite part, the finishing. This adds so much more to your basic Fiddlers Green model, which is painting the edges. I paint the front of the jet nose cone where the radar would be, I paint the tail wheel, and I paint the leading edges of the fin and the wing. So thank you so much guys for just following me every week and seeing how this model come together. And look at that, I'm painting the jet exhaust. Spend the time to mix the colors to get it right and matching, and there we have it. An incredible Vought F7U Cutlass fighter from Fiddlers Green. Thank you so much to my Patreon sponsors. Enjoy life, my friends. Be good, take care, and above all, one love.